Hello everybody and welcome to our next Fly of the Month challenge. This month we're going to do a classical pattern Carey specials. This guy right here. And it can really be tied anywhere from like a 4 down to a 16. Here's a steelhead style, just to kind of show you what I mean. On this one we're going to use the Hannock 950 number 10. And I'm going to get started. I'm going to start my thread right in front of the hook point on this hook and bring it back just before it starts to bend down. First material we're going to use is pheasant rump. We do a lot of colors in these just to kind of show you some of the strung stuff. You can really have some color variation in your fly box. Now, depending on how you want it, if you want it more kind of a dun or olive, you can go either direction. I'm going to use more of an olive one off the rump. Just to kind of pick my feather. Now it's going to fan out like that. We don't want that. I'm actually going to pinch it and I'm going to twist it. That'll kind of help beat it up and make it more into a tail. I'm also going to use the hook gap as my measuring point. I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to pinch it through with my fingers first. Get a couple good wraps. Pull this back. Bring it forward. And just like that. What that does is helps me from creating a big bump in the butt. And it gets all the material on top. I do that on all of my woolly buggers. Helps make it a more even body and keeps it clean. Next thing we need is wire. I am going to be using Sibai's large, wide, flat wire in copper. I like this because it's flat and it's going to give a really nice appearance of a tinsel rib. We'll get that tied on there. I'm going to bring this forward. Next material we need is peacock herl. And just like the pheasant, it comes in a really good selection of colors. So you can really play around with this and get a good selection going in your fly box. I'm going to go 6 or 7 strands. And I want them to be even, so I'm going to pull out that really short one that's in there. And I'm just going to snip them even. And I came forward so that I don't have a big butt and the fly again stays even all the way through. And I'm just going to wrap that back. And keeping it on top helps me keep from losing gap room on my hook. Now there's a couple different ways you can do peacock. You can grab your handy dandy little tool for doing dubbing loops. You can spin it with your fingers. If you have a rotary vise like I do, this will help speed up the process. I'm just going to do a little whip finish. Bring the thread out with the peacock and just use my vise. Then again, I'm going to use my vise to wrap it around the hook. Tie that off. See how fast that is? Plus it's clean. I know it's secured. It's got a good thread core on it. It ain't gonna break. And because I'm doing it that way, I don't have to cross wrap my wire. I can keep everything going the same direction. It's a little easier to work with. And that's gonna give me this really nice tinsel rib. I love this flat wire. Now again, you want to use crappy scissors to cut your wire. Don't use your good ones. I actually have a pair I bought specifically for wire. Okay, next we need another pheasant rump feather. Now on this one I'm going to actually measure it out. I want something that's going to be a little longer, that it's going to come back and actually, when I tie it in, come back towards the tail and reach the tail. There we go. Get all the fuzz off there. Then I'm going to get to the tip of the feather, pull everything down, tie that in, Clean that, and now I'm just going to wrap the feather and create a collar. Now, depending on how thick you want your collar, you can do 1, 2 feathers. When I go bigger, I usually will do 2, just to give me a little more volume. But if I'm doing a size 10 low, I usually will just stick with 1. If I go 8 or higher, I will usually do 2. On a 4, sometimes I'll even do 3, depending on the color and the style. If I'm doing a steelhead style, I'll do 3. I'm going to create a little head on there. Okay, that's done. Now let's just do a little knot. I can't find my whip finisher today, so I'm just going to go by hand. Just go 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. That'll secure that. Then I'm going to use some resin. I'm just going to take a little dab, put it onto a piece of plastic or a plastic bag, just a small drop. That way I can take my bodkin and use that to apply the resin. I don't have a big gob of it kind of going everywhere. I can put it right where I need to. Cover that head up. I'll fan these feathers out. Hit it with your light. And there you go. All right, make sure to go and tie them. Post them on Instagram, Facebook. Tag us in your photos. We want to see them. We want to share them. And have fun tying, guys.